If you're gonna put it in, but I saw it.
Alright, I want you to go on Discord. I want you to look at I want you to look at my name on there. And the final name there, Lomano, happens to be the name of Leiko's big twin brother, Valden Lumano.
Volund, V-O-L-U-N-D?
No. God. Alright. I know I've done a roleplay with you as him. So I'm
No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
We have, actually. There was that thing with that Springdale or whatever, where Valden is the salty blonde Neko guy who was shouting about how he was going to burn down the entire place once he got access to his full powers again.
Oh, you mean Riftdale?
Riftdale, Springdale, whatever. He was very ready to set it all on fire. Completely in his character.
Hey, thanks, dude.
Because he is a salty.
You're like my hero.
Spicy, salty one who is basically bitter towards everything because of what happens to the sweet cinnamon roll little brother, who continues to be a sweet.
Whoa, that was dope.
He develops into the yandere child trope. Corner with. Because whilst Leiko
you're like
adorable,
my hero.
Cute, nice, still
hey, thanks, dude.
It's so cliche. Real cliche.
Never defeat me.
This shield is actually.
Whoa, that was dope.
She'll pay for this. It's called the Angelic Hierarchy.
Whoa, that was
so
dope.
There's Seraph. So it starts
You're like
with Seraphim
my
at the
hero.
top, then Alphonse, then Cherubim, then.
But you skipped that second one. They have Cherubim though. Archangels.
Well, of course they skipped Alphonse. They skipped Alphonse for the simple reason of those are the wheels of God.
Hey, thanks, dude.
Living wheels, man. They exist solely.
Hey, thanks, dude.
They have Seraphim. Well, that's the third one you said was.
Cherubim.
Cherubim. They have
Everyone
Archangels.
thinks that cherubs are
You're like my hero.
adorable babies.
Whoa, that was
they're
dope.
terrifying creatures of
Hey,
unimaginable-
thanks, dude.
literally unimaginable power. They're basically ninth dimensional entities.
You're like
not
my
to
hero.
be taken lightly, because they
Whoa,
are the
that was
judges
dope.
of whatever Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, was in fact the cherubim, actually. Noted as the most beautiful of the angels.
You got some Archangels. Thrones.
I don't. You know what? Hold up. I have read several times that he was a cherub. You know what? Here, let me look it up.
T-H-R-O-N. The bottom one is like Nephilim.
Nephilim? A
Nephilim.
Nephilim? That's half
like the
breed. That's when that's when a human actually managed to get an angel to bang them.
Yeah, that's the very lowest rank. Then there's Angel above that, Powers above that, Virtues above that, Dominions above that.
That's ridiculous. Archangel is the one that's just above angel. Come on, people, do your research.
Well, Archangel, and that's below Cherub.
What? No. There's the second choir is archangels, angels, archangels, and I believe powers are the third choir. Second choir is between archangels and the first choir, which is the seraphim, the ophon, and the cherubim. Don't ask me why I know this. Daring to attack me while I'm explaining things about a religion that I don't believe in. Dare you? Foolish, arrogant, Faust.
You will never defeat me.
Yeah, ninth dimensional creatures. I've discovered that I actually have subscribers. No, I do not. You're wondering why? Because I want to see how far this guy gets. The Captain America
weaken
combo.
Faust. His magents are using forbidden artifacts called soul wells on innocents. Find them and destroy them before they're taken to Faust. Faust has retreated to this theater to begin his foul ritual. Zatanna has him cornered inside, but he is protected by his magents and she is alone. Join the battle to fight at her side and end Faust's vile plot.
So, shit. I have, after looking way too into the philosophical idea of the higher dimensions of the universe, Golden Sword, either stop that or I'm going to remove you from or I'm leaving the party.
I'm not.
Oh, then your connection's crappy. Or mine is. I know my connection gets pretty crappy around... Oh, it's getting closer to 1 AM. That's usually when it craps out. Whatever. Let's see, what was I? Yeah. So, in my story with Zom, there were a bunch of things that he assumed to his new Google/YouTube account name or whatever. I don't remember them. Various other videos. Stop. That's not like. I don't mean that in a negative way. He's a great friend. Loves to talk. No. What was I? Yeah, he and I are writing a book.
Then the city.
Because, unlike certain John, who shall not be revealed, he can actually follow a plot line.
Oh, haha, very funny.
Okay, so establish a plot line and follow it, and stay with expectations, and then I'll stop mocking you. I mean, I won't actually stop mocking you.
I write what comes to me, okay, and that seems to work out for me, actually.
Okay,
I'm over free thought per person.
I'm not saying that's bad. I'm still going to mock you because you're my friend, and I mock all of my friends. I'm just saying that doesn't work for my plans of a serialized story. That requires forethought and sticking to a plan. A flexible plan that can be altered to accommodate new ideas and critical thinking, but still a plan. And
You will never defeat me.
Nobody wants to know where you're at.
You will never defeat me.
in an instant. Why?
You want to see your character.
I'm like level... Dude, I'm only like level 7? I'm only like level 7. There's no style or anything to my character. I like to make my guys bare bone. Basically, I get them as close to making it without adding special skill. And then let them adorn themselves with something significant as they expand, as the world provides it to them.
Faust and Zatanna
Therefore,
battle just
there's
past
not
that
really
mystical
any
barrier.
cool style
Defeat the
going on
Magians
here.
casting the
It's
spell to break through.
Random stupid shirt.
Do not pass. You must
Cool.
not interrupt the master. To
Once I see the
battle!
shield being used,
Oh, we failed the master!
You know what? Then look up my YouTube account. I am in the middle of a dungeon. Good lady. I have an idiot sword. Yeah. So, Portal... So, like I was saying in my previous video, which I think is still being processed by YouTube and all that, extra-dimensional portals to higher geometric dimensions of reality hurt to be on the inside of when they're open, i.e. portals to another world are not something that you want to be inside of as they open. Funnily enough,
Release
that is
these
the
innocent
fundamental
souls,
thing
Faust.
of
You
one of my
cannot
fan
stop
fictions
me,
that
Satana. My power is too great.
but the main story is they all, these
yes,
four kids
the
gain
power
powers through a
rules me.
painful and experimental way, and they have to use these powers that may or may not have broken down
Give me your power.
barrier in the
Don't
universe
let
that
them
was
feed their power to
keeping
Faust.
danger to everything else sealed up. They're not expected to actually defeat him. They are expected to slow him down. And honestly, I think that's
Who the heck?
13.
Who the heck is spamming chat?
Oh, did you just notice the guy who keeps saying, who the fuck is you? Did you just
Yeah.
notice that? Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't.
That's why I've been recording it. I switched the chat room thing to
The power. I will
combat,
have all of
so
it.
it just tells me the
He's
points and
absorbing the
rolls
soul
and
well
stuff
energy. Get
for
back.
everything that's happening.
Yes. Yes, the power.
My adorable little
People
pet.
are reporting him. People are reporting him. Holy crap.
Good. He's an annoying spammer. No one. But yeah, oh, look. Now I can equip the pants that I was given through gameplay. I gave him jeans, but no, not briefs. Egyptian pants, which are basically just booty shorts in this game. I'm not even joking.
Initiate field
And
report.
so,
That's a
each
few
gains
souls
some
Faust won't get his
powers.
greasy hands on.
Some more appropriate than
Faust has
others
retreated to
their
this theater to begin his foul ritual.
instance,
Satana has him
the,
cornered inside, but he is protected by his magents, and
the
she is
computer
alone. Join the battle to fight at her side
Hey, guess
and
what?
end Faust's
I know how you
vile
can get rid of
plot.
him. I can get rid of him from spamming on there.
And how do you propose we do that?
You press select on the directional button, Lily just found out, and go to recent text. You should see his name pop up. Okay, the Wade Wilson TM. You press right again, and you can select
The Wade
ignore.
Wilson? Really?
Yeah, but then because you select his name, you select ignore. I think the menu for him, and you select ignore. It removes all of his chat from the chat menu.
Important to me immediately for my role. Critical healing magnitude. Yeah, that's important. That'll be
Now the chat thing is cleaned up because there's nobody. He's not on there anymore. He's not in the chat for her.
recent text. Had to ignore. Thank you. That was very useful.
And now,
Damn, you keep distracting me. You have a tendency to distract me from shit. Now, what was I?
And Batman's back is on again. Holy God, does he ever go offline?
Damn it, why damn it! I was talking about the greatness of my plot, and you've distracted me. Damn you.
Sorry. We're not really listening. We're trying to figure out how in the world to do this. How to get to ignore him.
Disperse and trouble
Sorry.
these people no more.
He was being very distracting with that.
That's why. Okay, here's what I did. Hit the mouse pad thing, and then hit the R1 shoulder button, and then hit circle.
Well, we got something to do. We just ignored him. Now he's not putting in the chat.
Do you see what I did though?
Just need to get rid of the chat entirely.
This is why I hate ADHD. I don't remember what I was talking about. Well, I know in a general sense what I was talking about.
Didn't you send me that story? Didn't you send me that story? Or at least the first chapter?
Probably of the horrible original draft.
Probably, because you did send me something that matches that description of the start, of them going into portal and all that.
Yeah, and so they are
Can a
tasked
guy
by
catch a break?
whoop-de-doo, Kai, a multidimensional creature, whom of which I will not specify how many geometric dimensions he exists in, simply because that makes it more fun, and I don't have to specify until I decide what limitations I want to put on him. I want to get the math right, so that I'm doing it correctly anyways. Kai is a genie, like I said, extra-dimensional entity. And he is tasked by Goliath, a 10th dimensional entity, basically God. Like, I'm not even joking. Quite simply, Goliath is one of the two gods of the multiverse, whose sole purpose is to maintain balance in nature and harmony, etc. between the forces of chaos and the forces of order. Meaning, if one gets too powerful, he purposely sets off the other. Therefore, if there's too much freedom, then there's suddenly going to be the chains of darkness running rampant. What the hell was that? Chains of darkness will soon find themselves wrapping around whatever part of the universe or the multiverse is having too much fun, for his opinion. If things are getting too boring, he'll throw in a mess of superpowers and then grab some popcorn. Goliath is, however, juvenile, and I don't mean that in just he's a juvenile person as a person. I mean well, look up what a googolplex is, and then multiply that by 10. That is how many of our years Goliath has existed. Multiply googolplex by 15, and that is how long his older brother has existed. I.e., I specify those numbers because Goliath
Brainiac is attacking. He's targeting sites to bottle and bombarding us with troops. We need your help before it gets
Goliath
worse.
views most mortals
This
as
is Oracle.
nothing more than
He
playthings.
took out a Brainiac ship, so taking out his forces on the ground should be a cakewalk. He's staging his front
This is
line
why
nearby.
on
Head over there and
Goliath's
kick
side
some
of
can.
the multiverse, things are wild and crazy. Places like, well, the DC universe, the Marvel universe, etc. are all basically right there, right for the reckoning and entertainment, because they never really get boring to him. All he has to do is throw... What?
You remember my goddess character, Univis?
Yes. Yes, I do. Vaguely, kind of, ish.
Queen in the multiverse?
Ninth
Goddess.
dimensional entity. Yes? What about her?
I'm saying, because it's been a while since we've done anything with her, you know what I mean? Last time she was mentioned, actually, in any of my things was the Kaiju Warriors thing.
Yes, that's because we don't actually bring in the god characters who are supposed to be completely 100% OP. And, yes, I know, Cole is the quote-unquote god of the weather, but that is, he is literally an infant playing around with mortal toys and having fun, and getting his knee scraped a few times as he gets into fights with some that are closer to his level, simply because he's too young to understand what his actual level should be once he reaches maturity.
Anyway, continue on. Sorry.
Where the fuck was I? Oh yes, Goliath is a child. So yeah, the god in charge of basically half of the multiverse is a 10-year-old kid in essence, and that's why
Thanks
a lot
for
of
the
things are
assist with
screwy.
Faust.
But
We put on
his
quite a
argument
show.
as to why that
Ready for the
doesn't need
second
to
act?
change is the
demon
fact that
trigon is
the
rising
simple
right
fact
here
that
in Metropolis.
everyone
I'll
in
get
his
there when I
universes
can. Until
are
then, think you can
very
handle it?
much entirely capable of handling a threat, and basically he can use them as backup and his army against anything that could actually pose a threat to the balance of the multiverse should he need any assistance. He never expects to need any assistance, but it's a damn good thing that he has this army, because turns out there's another being out there who somehow seems to be rising up in presence of within the universe. He's able to hide his presence from Goliath, and yes, I know this sounds like a ridiculous name, but I didn't come up with it. Zom did. Zom, Goliath's older brother, and Zom's half of the multiverse is so tightly managed that nothing happens there. Nothing. Everything is regulated. Everything is stagnant. Everything is ordered. It's boring.
I like how both your characters have them in half and half.
Actually, Zom is not my character. That is the character of the other John.
Like I said, y'all's characters.
Ah. Can't tell if you're... sometimes I can't tell if you're being plural, if you're using that as a plural, or if you're just being country.
Plural.
But yes, but Zom did point that out to me, as I was pointing out that, yes, I designed Goliath specifically to be an immature asshole who plays around with people like nothing but toys and programs, and basically the Digimon Emperor from Digimon, except less expressive, less obviously sadistic, until the point at which he says, and he does say this sometimes, "Your pain is very entertaining. Please continue suffering." I got popcorn this time. And I am entirely serious. That is a line.
I'm sure I have something here that can help you. Take a look.
Because I frankly feel that... because I, personally, find it hilarious. Disagree? Too bad. That's my story, of course. I love how I can afford it, but I can't use it. Oh wait, I hit level 9 and oh god, I wasted my skill point. Oh wait, I didn't. Okay, good. Light. Subsonic speed. What is my mission? What is my mission? Mission? Have I explored? Did I get the exploration shit? I did not. Despite myself. Whatever. Whatever. Yeah, Goliath, 10-year-old god. Goliath and Zom encounter an enemy that they actually can't wave away with a hand gesture. The fact that such a thing exists in the first place is enough to raise 50 different types of alarm bells in Goliath's mind. And considering that they discovered this being as he was destroying their creations and absorbing them, as I'm sure you can imagine, that the reason he knows this is because he immediately took challenge because, well, how dare you? This was something they actually agreed on. That was one of the few things that Goliath and Zom actually agreed on. Right. The universe that the two of them made when Goliath was young and Zom was just being relieved of some of his duties as guardian of the universe.
Praise Nabu, you are here. We must defend the Sentin.
To help him stay balanced. Now, the backstory behind this character, Ash, is going to stay a secret simply because I don't want to get everything in a YouTube video. But, suffice it to say, he is powerful, he is old, and Goliath and Zom do not exactly completely defeat him.
No further.
Be frank with you, they can't just kill him off. They expend basically all of their energy just to seal him away. They plan on destroying him, and had it not been for that breach of the multiverse, breach of the seal that they placed on him, they would have succeeded in doing so. However, Ash, being the conniving trickster that he is, managed to set up a little something in advance to trigger his escape.
This is Oracle. He took out a Brainiac ship, so taking out his forces on the ground should be a cakewalk. He's staging his front line nearby. Head over there and kick some can.
Sometimes it's the fault of Darwinism. But anyways,
finally, a signal. Get ready to move. Brainiac
Goliath,
is capturing other exobyte targets, so he's definitely planning to bottle the whole place. Save those people and take them to the drop-off safe zone nearby.
Well, he's not exactly happy, but at the same time, he doesn't have the energy to deal. Neither he nor Zom has the energy to deal with Ash again, because it's only been 200 of our mere earthly years. And so, Goliath takes the millisecond that it happened in and makes it so that instead of killing these children like a portal to another dimension rightly should have, they instead gained ridiculously fantastic abilities. I say ridiculously fantastic, but frankly, you might feel a bit underwhelmed if I say that without warning. It's not some huge thing of amazing magic right off the bat. They're not unbeatable.
Systems failure.
They do, in fact, have to learn how to control their powers, yes, but more because doing any of that for 24/7 as a noob would kill them. Luckily, it's just low enough of a drain on them that they can figure it out without risk of pneumonia, muscle tearing, blindness, and tinnitus. Just barely, though. They just barely escape these consequences of their abilities. And that's because, like me, Goliath is a salty boy. He's petty. He's willing to risk his whole plan of distracting the biggest threat ever on a little petty revenge. Yes, the OC is based off of me. Yes, I am incredibly petty. And salty. Spiteful. I live off of spite. Literally. Hole is hard as a black hole right now. Not to say that there's no love for you, Golden. Really? Nothing? You have nothing to say to that. Not even a joke. Not even Lily?
No.
Come on, Lily. You're the witty one in this duo.
Hey!
Tell me, how many of the jokes you come up with are from her, and how many of them are from you? Give me a standard ratio of that. That was a serious request. Please, tell me. How often is it just her being... How often is it just you being her talk piece for a fun, witty joke?
I can't say.
And that says it all, folks. Oh look, there's someone watching.
More often than you think.
So, the only way that would be possible would be if it was just always her. As mean as that probably sounds.
There are times I have my witty remarks. Just more.
I'm sure. I'm just being an asshole. You know it.
Finally, a signal. Get ready to move. Brainiac is capturing other exobyte targets, so he's definitely planning to bottle the whole place. Save those people and take them to the drop-off safe zone nearby.
But yeah, a genie, Kai, happens to appear after they all discover their
we've made him
fantastic
mad.
powers,
He's targeting all of my comm
in some way
frequencies.
to their
Luckily, I know a
skills
few
and
tricks.
lifestyle
So
choices.
get to Brainiac's ground zero. With all those
Considering
troops and
that they're
ships, he'll start bottling any moment unless you
albeit
stop
smart
him.
ones, it's obvious that these powers are underwhelming and underdeveloped, just like they are. I'm not mocking children of today, I'm mocking children of my generation. I mean, for instance, or rather, listen. I'm mocking millennials. Sorry, 90s kids. Not just brownies, 90s kids worldwide.
Hey.
Did you not hear me say not just brownies, 90s kids, all kinds. I'm mocking all of us. One of them is really into music. So very much so that their powers, their powers revolve around the auditory senses. Yeah. So, sound. Various sound-based powers. Meanwhile, another is a visual artist, likes to draw, likes to paint, etc. And his powers have to do with light. One controls pressure waves, the other controls photons. At first, just visible light, able to craft illusions for his friends, family. They make a great duo for storytelling. Another is an athlete and suddenly gains greater strength, speed, durability, etc. Super soldier serum. What the heck? How did you find me? super soldier serum working from age 1. Or age 13, anyways. These three have their abilities based... Huh?
We're watching the video as you're recording it.
That's you! Okay. I was wondering why that person had yet to comment. Hell is Jenny Sparks? No. Capes Incorporated? What? Someone just invited me to a league called Capes Incorporated. It's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah. That's how I was feeling.
We've all got
now,
to unite
those
against
three,
Brainiac.
Their powers
Glad
make
you're out
sense
there fighting
based
for
on
us.
their interests. The athlete loves everything to do with the body. He likes to move. He likes to... And he's a martial artist, as much as a 13-year-old. Well, actually, no. Children are going to be terrifying if you teach them how to fight. If you actively teach a child how to... defend themselves, they will, stay away from the kid. Just don't. A great example of this would be Undertale. Great example of this. Yeah. So, one loves music, one loves art, one loves everything to do with the body. Now, the one whose power does not correlate with his personality and interests and all that is, well, he's actually the center of the group. They're all friends and or related to him. Great. You know what? No, I'm not gonna give you his name. I'm gonna give you his name. He's a lover of stories, of writing, etc. He likes to write, he likes to read, makes comics, video games, etc. If there's a story behind it, he's a fan of it. And he will bash your story if it's not really a story. Also, I see Hawkeye Freak over there flexing in my face as though I'm impressed. What's with the peacock? No, not this guy. The guy with the bow who was... Oh, here, look at my combos. What the oh, a manhunter.
No, not that. About the guy with doing the story thing and all that.
In my story, he's the guy with the power that has nothing to do with his personality and interests and intelligence. His power is... well, it's a very genetic and magical change. I'm not going to reveal the magical part, the magical genetic part, but have you ever wondered what would happen if someone had both ice and fire powers, or thermokinesis, the ability to manipulate temperature in any extreme, without canceling one thing out? I'll just say it. He's an elementalist, except he can only do one element at a time. You glitched through the floor, honey. Ah, there you are. The first thing he does is breathe fire, but here's a drawback because of how temperature works. The more heat he releases, the colder he gets, and if he gives off too much, and if his flames get too hot, he will die of pneumonia and will freeze to death. Inversely, if he absorbs too much heat, makes ice that's too cold, he will burn to death.
So his weakness is his own powers, basically.
He has to figure out how he has to stop himself before he overloads his body. Of course, with use, his power becomes less and less of a burden throughout the story, but, you know, it's still a thing there. His main limitation is how extreme a temperature his body can handle. Now, this limitation does not apply to him manipulating the elements that beyond his generating them, but he can only really handle controlling as much as he can generate or steal. Seems to cold things are really just sapping off heat from you. Anyone with ice powers is never cold because they're constantly and passively draining all of the energy from the room. Or the air. Conversely, people with fire powers are never hot. So did you waste a solder cola just because you were showboating instead of waiting for the power to get back? Really? Really? Fucking noob. Anyways.
She had like tons of these things. She has a whole stack of solid cola plus, 3 solid cola classics, and 6 more solid cola pluses, and 4 solid cola supreme.
Do you never use those? Do you?
No, because currently she has equipped. She has regular solid cola equipped.
Oh my god, you've gotten a lot of School of Hard Knocks stuff, haven't? Oh wait, that's right. You've been leveling with me. Of course you did. Anyways. So yeah. The big boy's power is the temperatures at first. Later, he discovers that he can also manipulate the ground, though that's rather difficult simply because, well, he's not that heavy. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to apply proper limitations to the earth and air units. Might leave him at